I think my boyfriend's son hates me. He's mad whenever he sees me.
You don't like mommy time?
You don't like mommy time?
You don't like mommy time?
I, 19 male, have been in a relationship with Henry for a while now. I moved into his place last year after another bad fight with my dad. Things have been going relatively smooth for the most part, except when it comes to visitors. By the way, this comes from user UnwantedHouseGuest12 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, Henry has two sons, Chris, 26 male, and Junior, 29 male.
And OP's 19?
I think I know why the sons don't like you.
And OP's 19.
Chris visits 2 to 3 times a month, and I'd consider us friends. When he's here, he usually comes early and stays the day just to check in and help me with some chores until his dad gets home. Junior, on the other hand, doesn't seem to like me very much. I don't think he's really accepted that his dad is gay, so he can get mad when I'm here. He's only visited a couple of times before, and they all ended up with him glaring at me and my boyfriend. Before his second to last visit in January, we had a sort of mutual civility other than his glaring. During the second to last visit, it ended in a screaming match with Henry about me. He really, really doesn't like that I'm there. So Chris broke up with his girlfriend, Emily, who's female 27. They left on a good note, so he decided to let her live in their apartment until his lease ended and they could both move somewhere else. Chris lives closer to our place than Junior's, so for the first couple of days, he crashed here. 2 days ago, Junior came to pick Chris and his stuff up from the house. Knowing this and how upset Junior is with my presence, I asked Henry if I should go out to my friend's place. He agreed, so I packed my overnight bag and left. It turns out I forgot my toothbrush. I remembered it when I was only a couple minutes away from the house, so I circled back to go get it. People were asking why I didn't just buy one, but Henry handles the finances and holds the debit card. I had cash, but I was saving it for food. I went inside the front without seeing anyone and just went upstairs to grab it. Coming down, a very pissed Junior was staring at me from the bottom of the stairs. Turns out he parked in the back. He started to yell again, especially at Henry. Chris shuffled me out of the house and offered to take me back to my dad's place, which was really odd since I was pretty sure he knew about our bad relationship, so I just went back to my friend's place. A couple days later, I'm back at Henry's, and he's asking me to apologize and or talk to Junior. He seems really persistent on it, but I don't think I did anything wrong, even if apologizing would be just keeping the peace. Junior kind of scares me now. I don't want to apologize, but I don't want to damage Henry's relationship with Junior. Am I the, what is that?
Butt face?
Am I the butt face?
I don't know.
AITBF.
Anywho, it doesn't sound like you did anything wrong. That seems like an issue between Henry and his son.
Exactly that. I think they're reckoning with a lot of information they may not have been aware of most of their life. But anyway, let's get into this update. I don't know Reddit protocol, but I think I'd feel like a donkey if I didn't update given all the time you guys took to respond to my last post, especially since some of them seemed very personal. I feel like I worried a lot of you, probably through miscommunication. I'm not the best at explaining things. Also, my dad and Henry weren't exactly best friends, but he wasn't the reason we had that fight. It's unrelated. I read all the comments on my last post. They made me feel weird with myself, so I didn't respond to a lot of them. I assume weird about the age gap. I thought it was just something to sleep off and brush off later, but that night with Henry was really uncomfortable for me, and it just got worse after the next two.
Oh no.
Henry was still being really persistent about me apologizing to Junior throughout those days, so I got his number and called him that morning. I went in the other room and apologized to Junior. He said he wasn't mad at me, but kind of responded tiredly, so I wasn't sure what to make of that. Then it sounded like he was just starting to segue into what you guys were saying. I got scared and hung up on him before he started to spiel and then blocked him. And again, we're not having the context of what the other comments said, but I can almost guarantee the comments are about the age gap and about like something, you know, like the debit card being withheld, sort of like
trying to warn him.
Yeah, trying to be like, hey, I don't know if this is actually a good relationship for you.
Yeah.
It took me a couple hours after Henry left for work to unblock him and call him back. Yes, he was saying what the comments were. I wish I could say I listened really well and voiced my opinion, but I just started effing bawling. After a long hour of him trying to calm me down on the other end of the call and me blubbering, I agreed to go visit his and Chris's, as of right now, place for the weekend for a small break starting Friday afternoon. He was pretty insistent on having Chris pick me up.
Okay, so Junior is making a relationship with OP.
All of this was basically Junior being like, dude, my dad is using you.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a good relationship for you. I told Henry certain parts of the conversation when he got home, and he was very happy that I made up with Junior and thought having me stay with them for the weekend was a great idea. Thursday ended with another uncomfortable night. I'm at Chris and Junior's now. I think Henry has noticed Chris took me more than a weekend's worth of clothes for me, which I didn't realize until this morning, and has started texting me and asking when I'll be back. I haven't responded, so he's starting to ask if we could call. I don't know what's happening. I really don't. I just wanted to know what to do about my boyfriend's son not liking me, and now I'm lost. I really, really love him. He loves me too. I'm sure if I asked him, he'd let me get a job or even go to a community college. But literally everyone else has been calling our relationship creepy, even his own sons. And I'm going to third that. That's creepy.
Yeah, fourth in it.
It's creepy. Sorry.
And everyone else put what fifth you are, what place you are.
And it's like, you can be in love at 19. I was in love at 19.
And you don't need your partner's permission to go to community college or have a job.
That's the point. The dynamic y'all have with you being so young and him being so much older and him basically treating you like, I don't know, like almost like a surrogate child in a way, like where it's like, you're not allowed to have a job. You're not allowed to go to school. You can't have the debit card. Like, when are you going to be back home or how long are you going to be gone?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. His sons know that this is weird. I feel weird making an update because at this point to me, it's like, oh, look at me. But I felt weirder knowing that people were still concerned after my last post, and I don't like making people feel crappy. I'm safe. I'm healthy. Yes, I've been crying. No, I'm not proud of it. It's messy, but I've been working on it. I'm still at Junior's. It's been peaceful. He folds his socks oddly. Who folds their socks?
I do.
You don't ball your socks?
Oh, I ball them. Never mind.
Yeah. Who folds socks? I've been trying to find another place for me to go. I don't want to be a burden for the next eternity or witness whatever the heck he's doing to his socks. It's also kind of awkward living with your boyfriend's son. At least it feels like it to me in my head. He hasn't done anything that makes me feel that way. I could go back to my father's, but quite frankly, I really, really don't want to. A friend suggested contacting my extended family, which is an option, but I honestly don't know them very well. The last time I've seen any of them was at a funeral over a decade ago. Plus, they're 3 states away. The best option I have right now is getting a job that makes enough for me to rent a room. I've been looking, but it hasn't been easy. It's difficult to get an actual full-time job at my age during the summer, since I live in a college town in an area everyone assumes I'll quit right before the college semester starts, even if I tell them otherwise. Of course, I'm going to keep trying. Until I get enough for consistent rent, I'll need to couch surf. I'll be fine. I have a couple of friends who've offered to let me stay at their places before I even asked. I'll make sure to not overstay my welcome before going to my next friend's house. I haven't told Junior yet, but I'm sure he'll be happy to have his apartment back to himself and teenager-free at his very old, nearly 30 age. What? You know who else has an old, very old age?
Henry.
Your boyfriend, who's his father.
But that was sarcastic. It was like very old. Come on.
I guess,
you fell for it.
I fell. You got me, OP. Henry has been calling and texting me, and the most I've done is respond to some of the texts, but I've been declining 99% of his calls for now. The extra 1% was when his text got pretty desperate. I don't have any plans on going back to his place right now, but he's been consistently offering to pay for me to attend our local and pretty big college. I know he can afford it, and I'm not saying I would go for it. I'm just saying it'd be pretty easy to stick it out for another 4 years for that amount of money and then ditch him a couple 10,000s poorer. Ooh, no, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a terrible.
Yeah, that gives
Terrible idea.
That gives him 4 more years to like get his claws into you even more.
Yeah, to sink the hooks in.
There we go.
Yeah, it's like, this just doesn't, you want to get out of the situation. 4 years is a long time. So I'm almost sure that relationship's over and through. Thank you all for your help. I needed to get hit over the head with some common sense. I hope you're all happy and well. And we have a third update. We're going to get right into it. So you guys were right. Junior looked at me as if I was insane when I apologized for being a burden and promised I'd start looking for another place to live. He said if I felt uncomfortable in any way, I'd be free to go. Otherwise, he doesn't mind having me around.
Oh, nice.
That's nice.
That's
yeah,
good.
Junior's like, you can stay here.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
I like that Junior was the villain at first, but he was actually a hero in disguise.
Yeah, he was maybe OP was feeling like some of this. OP was getting some misdirected energy and feelings from Junior. I told him I didn't like being a freeloader, but that I do like it there. I didn't say this to him, but I didn't remember ever feeling that at ease anywhere else. He told me if it was a thing about freeloading, I could pay him rent by helping with some chores and starting community college. While I agreed to those terms, that sounded crazy easy, and I told him I was looking for a job that I could pay rent with once I had enough money. Chris heard about my job search and helped me get a job. He had some friends at an animal daycare that needed extra staff. All I have to do on my shift is take care of dogs and pet dogs and play with dogs. I literally can't think of a better job I could have gotten right now. It sounds like an amazing job, honestly.
And you probably needed that too.
Yeah. Just pure dopamine from your job constantly. Yeah. It wasn't full time, but eventually I made enough to give a small bit of rent to Junior. He looked at me dead in the eyes and handed it back, saying it was payment for the housework. That pissed me off. This went on for 2 weeks, and I gave up. The best I can do is pay for groceries sometimes and stay on track for community college. I feel like I'm definitely doing some type of scamming, but at this point, Junior deserves it. I tried. Dude, this guy's mentality is like freaking me out. Junior is doing you a huge solid. He likes you. You've done nothing wrong. He's opened his home to you. You're not scamming anybody.
I think he has a sense of rejection or feeling of not being wanted. So that's why he is putting himself down so much.
OP?
OP is.
Yeah.
Because he's like, okay, like, you know, if you've been rejected before, you're going to try and do whatever you can to reject the person first. So then you don't get to hear a no and be rejected again and feel that pain again. So he's probably trying to do that. But Junior and Chris's unconditional love in this scenario is not letting them have it. And it's like, dude, you're fine. Just help out around the house. You got to get back up on your feet. Everyone does. You're fine.
Just take out the trash.
Yeah,
you're 19. You can go to college. And I'm sorry, my dad dated you.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's kind of that too. The obligation of like, man, my dad almost ruined this guy's life. Let me try to get him on track a little bit here.
Yeah, let him. Yeah, good, dude.
We did what user Floomby suggested. Port your current number to a burner phone. Change the number on your current phone. Give the burner phone to Junior and ask him to hide it somewhere you will never find it. Let Junior monitor it in case Henry is planning something weird. Luckily, my phone is one of the few things Henry didn't pay for, and my dad still pays for my phone. He's made no move of stopping. I'm not sure if that's from guilt or what, but he's fine with it. There's some news for Henry. Apparently, he's been asking my friends where I am, and they never thought about telling me about it. I never thought he'd go that far now since I heard he has a new boyfriend, but here we are. A good bit of my friends are fine with us splitting, but some have varying views on it. A couple of them have tried to convince me that Henry at least deserves an in-person explanation and breakup. Pretty much all of them that I didn't know before Henry have been talking that way. Yeah, because they're more Henry's friends than yours.
Yeah. You broke Henry's heart. You have to explain it.
No, you don't. Yes, get out of there. One of them, Jack, 24 male, short for Jack Glass, told Henry where I was after Henry asked him again. The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of that switch. Henry showed up unannounced last week. We just finished taking groceries in, so the door was still unlocked, and I don't really know what happened after that. Junior told me to go wait in my room and that everything would be fine. At that point, I was too shocked and wanted to disassociate from the situation, so I put my earbuds in and started watching YouTube with the door closed. From what I could hear, they were arguing, but it was all muffled for me. Sorry, Reddit, I can't give you the drama on that conversation. I have failed you. I didn't really realize Henry left until Junior's girlfriend, Sarah, 28 female, showed up with takeout. Over dinner, she said Junior was out somewhere finishing the conversation with Henry out in public. Junior came back a bit later and promised that Henry wouldn't be back. Cryptic as all get out, but he probably just threatened him with the cops. Probably. Which is, what was he threatening? How could you threaten the cops?
Hey, if you come here again, I will get a restraining order.
There you go. That's how you do that. I was nervous the following 2 days and found myself borderline insane with checking the peephole, the windows, and locks on the windows and doors. I think Junior and Sarah noticed because Sarah offered for me to hang out at her place, like a place Henry doesn't know the address to, while our place was empty. I've been doing that, and it's nice. I hope her relationship with Junior continues to work because I really like her dog. This guy, I just can't get a beat on OP's like emotional core.
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's like these people are like bringing him in and being like, oh yeah, you don't feel safe here? You can live at my place. And he's like, I hope they don't break up because I like her dog.
I think a lot of OP's life have been in shambles, and this is how they kind of think and function. Dude,
they are 19 as well.
They are 19,
so that's fair.
But I really hope they can find a therapist or something because it seems like they need some work done.
They need some stability.
Yeah.
Which I think they could get in this situation. Yeah. But it does make it really weird that they're related to his like creepy ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. Ugh.
If any bridges end up burned, I'll have to break in to pet him, and that's really a hassle. I had no idea how Henry found out where I was until Jack called me this morning to apologize. I don't think I'll be speaking to him again. I haven't told anyone yet, but I will tomorrow, and it stings a bit. I thought we were good friends. And by the way, if we're good friends, I just want to let you know that you can listen to other stories like this one on any of your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Just look up OK Storytime, find us, and you'll have a plethora of stories just like this one.
Just like this one.
Give them a listen. So before we finish this story, we've kind of sprinkled in our takes throughout. Yep. I think we're kind of at a place where really the only thing I would like to see is OP sort of waking up and realizing, oh my God, like these people actually, they're people that care about me.
Yeah.
And want to do right by me instead of, I don't know, kind of, I feel like OP's operating a little selfishly or a little, maybe not selfish, but just like thoughtlessly. Like OP needs to be a little more thoughtful about what the other people around him are doing instead of just being like, well, I don't know, I guess they deserve it. They deserve to be scammed. It's like, no. These are people who just like want to see you do well.
Yeah.
Like,
and please get a therapist, OP.
Yes.
Please.
And you're 19, very young, so young, 19. God, I was so stupid when I was 19. Chris talked me into doing some online therapy about a month and a half ago.
Let's go.
Wow. Hey,
right.
Look at that.
Dreams come true.
It's been good. He says it's free because of some charity, but I'm calling BS. He's definitely paying. I'll just have to work harder to get my life on track to make sure his wallet. And that is the end of that story.
OP, you deserve to be loved.
Yeah. I feel like maybe OP is getting that from his own upbringing and his own household, because I know he said that stuff with his dad's really not good. Mm-hmm. So I bet growing up, his dad always made it out where it's like nothing's given, everything's earned. Like you have to pay for it, pay your way.
Your love is conditional.
Right, exactly. So now he's like in an environment where people are just like, no, I just want to help you. He's like, yeah, but do you really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll pay you, stupid. And he's like, you literally don't have to. You're 19.
Yeah.
And you have no job. Like,
dang, dude, that really turned around. That was so nice.
Yeah, that's a good story. That's good. And I mean, you can't say never, but I would say the overwhelming majority of the time, if you have an age gap that large, really examine that relationship. Especially if you're that young, you might not be able to see the red flags that others would be able to pick up immediately.